convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it.
Alright, so for today's video, I just wanted to talk about this thing that kind of pisses me off whenever it comes to, certain, because there's certain groups of people that whenever you talk about a problem in society, or whenever you talk about a problem with degenerate behavior, or whenever you talk about like a problem in society, like there's this certain group of person who says, well, how does it affect you personally? Live and let live, bro. Right, there's like those types of people where it's like, well, how does it affect you personally? And so, okay, so first of all, I want to start off with a quote, which is, first we overlook evil, then we first we overlook evil, then we permit evil, then we legalize evil, then we celebrate evil, then we persecute those who still call it evil. Okay, and this is related to tolerance. Okay, which is that tolerance is the bread and butter of evil, right? Tolerance is the bread, and this is how evil infiltrates societies. It infiltrates societies through tolerance. Basically, they tell you to like turn the other cheek and to just tolerate stuff, right? You're supposed to tolerate it. You're supposed and like what? Because how does it affect you, right? How does it affect you personally, right? And what it reminds me of is it reminds me of like the whole right, because this is the thing about evil. First of all, is that give them an inch, they'll take it a mile, right? And this is and so that's why like one of the primary arguments that these people have is like, but how does it affect you personally? Because what happens is that social behavior in a society, especially if it's someone promoting that behavior to other people, like behavior in a society is contagious. Okay, so what ends up happening is that if you see someone promoting evil behavior, right, and you say, and what you do is you say, like, hey, like, you call it out as evil, you call it out for what it is. Well, one of the other things that they'll say is that, well, is they'll say, like, well, that's just my opinion, bro. Right, that's just my opinion. We agree to disagree. Right, and this is one of the fucking things that like it pisses me off so much, because what they're doing essentially is that they're cowering or hiding behind tolerance. They're trying. One of the things that they'll try to do is they'll try to make you seem um they'll try to make you they'll try to make you look like an idiot for calling out a very obviously evil behavior. They'll try to make you look like, oh, you're an intolerant person, you should just live, like, we live in a free country, you should just live and let live, right? But what about, yet again, take it, give them an inch, they'll take it a mile, right? Because this is what evil people do, is they start small, right? But like first we overlook evil, right? Overlooking it, we say, oh, okay, well, there's like this person's, wearing like a BDSM at a pride parade next to like kids or whatever. Like, oh, okay, well, that's degenerate, but like, oh, it doesn't affect me personally. And we overlook evil, then we permit evil, then we legalize evil, then we celebrate evil, then we persecute those who still call it evil, right? That's the process, and it starts with overlooking evil, with ignoring the elephant in the room. And so that's just like a general tactic that evil people use to to infect societies with evil, with degenerate behavior, with unhealthy habits and stuff like that. That they use like the whole like live and let live, like, oh, but that's just your opinion. Like, I can have an opinion too. Oh, and what they do is they keep promoting that behavior, right, through the media and through other stuff, like the degradation of traditional values and all this other stuff, right? They keep promoting that, and if you call it out for what it is, then they say, well, how does it affect you personally that I'm saying these things, right? Because it affects you personally, because not because individuals don't exist in a vacuum. Everything in society, like, if you push on one thing in society, it ripples across the entire society. So if you permit evil to be propagated through, because it starts off with individuals. It starts off with individuals who and the mentality of the people who say this type of stuff is, first of all, that they ignore the whole, this, like, how everything affects society as a whole. They ignore the group, first of all, but second of all, one of the things that like the general mentality that these people have of like, well, how does it affect you personally? Personally, like, oh, it's just my opinion. We can just agree to disagree. Like that mentality, what it fundamentally boils down to is that these people have like the mentality of like you're not allowed to criticize stuff. Is basically what it boils down to. Is you're not allowed to criticize stuff. You're not allowed to have an opinion to have a different opinion. You're not allowed to point out a problem in order to raise awareness of the problem, right? And basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to prevent people from raising alarms. They're trying to prevent people from ringing the alarm bell so that they can continue to propagate continue to propagate the evil behaviors, the degradation, right? Like think about like drug use. For example, you think about like a lot. There's a lot of like cultural stuff like drug use, social media. Like the whole like the alphabet stuff. Like the whole like the drag queen story time where they read the like 6-year-olds and they dress up like it's a horned demon, right? Like stuff like that. What they do is they they start small, and if anyone calls them out on their BS, what happens is they act like the victims. They act like the victim. Like if you sound alarm bells and you try to like ring the alarm bells and try to alert people to say that hey, we shouldn't allow this evil to propagate. Right? What'll happen is they'll act like the victims, and then they'll say like, well, you can't criticize me because it's just my opinion, and how does it affect you if I just have this opinion? And so what? Yet again, first we overlook. That's the first step. You overlook evil, then you permit, legalize, celebrate evil, and then you persecute those who still call it evil. That's the process, and it starts with permitting evil, right? Permitting. No. It starts with overlooking. Excuse me. It starts with overlooking evil, right? Overlooking, ignoring it, pretending like the problem isn't there. That's how it starts, right? And so that's my like rebuttal to sort of like that. How does it affect you personally, right? Like it's just my opinion, bro. Or like where it's like this stupid thing where it's like you're not allowed to criticize things in society. You're not allowed to criticize problems. You're like it's like you're not allowed to criticize degenerate behavior because like these because like this is the thing that like evil does is evil will try to tell you that you're not allowed to criticize evil, right? Persecute those who still call it evil, right? They'll pretend like oh it's just like a normal thing, you should just allow it. Like the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world doesn't exist, right? The greatest and it's same thing with like good versus evil, right? They'll convince you that like, whatever evil that is let into a society, they'll try to convince you that it's not evil, right? They'll try to convince you that it's not evil, that it's just a normal thing, right? They'll try to and so what will happen is that's how they get people to overlook and permit evil as like the first two steps of that process of that quote that I said at the beginning of the video. But yeah, like that's just something that it just makes it just sort of pisses me off because it's like you're calling out a very obvious problem in society. You're calling out like a very obvious thing, and then you have all these people, all these NPCs coming out of the woodworks that are sort of like the gatekeepers. Like, well, you're not allowed to criticize things. You're not allowed. Everything's just fine. Like the world's on fire in the background. Like this. Like everything's just like. How does it affect you personally? Right. And then they have like the glasses. Like. Right, and meanwhile, like the world's on fucking fire because of the stuff, because of like the imperceptibly over time stuff that people allow, people tolerate, people allow it imperceptibly over time, and so now look at the state society is in because of the overlooking of evil, of oh well that's just his opinion, we shouldn't judge, right? That attitude, like that's a tolerance attitude, and so what it does is it turns people into doormats for evil. For evil, it makes people bargain with evil people, right? But yeah, like this whole idea of like, but how does it affect you personally? Like it affects everything. Everything's connected. That's why. That's why it affects me personally. Right. That's why it affects me personally when you force kids to get vaccines. That's why it affects me personally whenever you have like the two rainbow dildos swinging like police alarms in front of a 6-year-old kid. Like that's how it affects me personally because everything is connected. We have a collective human consciousness, and calling out evil is something that you have. Calling out evil and degenerate behaviors is something that you have to do. Calling out problems is something that is necessary. If a man who stands for nothing will fall for anything, right? So if you don't have a hill to die on, if you don't stand for anything, right? Well, it doesn't affect me personally. Like it's like you walk downtown and there's like a bunch of homeless crackheads, but you go back to your HOA neighborhood with your fancy car. But it doesn't affect me personally. Like the world's on fire, right? Yeah, well, the thing is everything is connected, and so calling out evil and like pulling out the weed by the roots is very important, and not allowing the sort of tolerance. That's what it is. It's tolerance at its core, right? We should just tolerate, even if it's different, even if my gut feeling says that this is evil, that this is going to lead to something bad, even if it's give them an inch, they'll take it a mile, even like with all of that in place, right? They're going to try to teach you to ignore that fundamental sense of good and evil. They're going to teach you to ignore that, to permit things to happen, to permit things, to tolerate things, and then eventually it'll get to the point where you realize that you were right all along, but you didn't call that out, and now it's too late, right? But I don't know. Like, what else should I say? Like it doesn't affect you personally. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Everything's connected. Yeah, but that's the video.